The year was 2087. Humanity had just built their first working faster-than-light drive. After years of testing on unmanned ships, it was time to send people to the stars. The United States Space Agency chose their best team for this historic mission. Commander John Miller looked out the viewport of the USS Pathfinder. The stars no longer twinkled but remained steady points of light against the black of space. He had been in space before, many times, but never this far from Earth. No human had. "Final checks complete, Commander," said Lisa Taylor, the ship's science officer. "The FTL drive is stable and ready for our jump to Alpha Centauri." Miller nodded. "Let's make history then." The crew of 12 sat at their stations, each feeling the weight of the moment. They would be the first humans to travel to another star system. The mission was simple. Investigate a strange signal coming from Alpha Centauri that Earth's telescopes had picked up 3 years ago. Engaging FTL drive in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, said the pilot, Sam Harris. The stars outside seemed to stretch like rubber bands, then snap back into place. The entire ship shuddered, then went still. Where Earth's sun had once been visible, now an entirely different star shone through the viewport. "We made it," Miller said quietly. The crew broke into cheers and hugs. They had traveled 4.3 light years in just moments. "Signal is stronger now," Taylor reported when the celebration died down. "It's coming from the third planet." As they approached, the planet, which looked like a blue-green marble against the darkness, their communication system suddenly came to life. "Unknown vessel, you have entered Centauri space. Identify yourself immediately." The crew fell silent. The message was in perfect English. Miller cleared his throat. "This is Commander John Miller of the USS Pathfinder, representing Earth. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration." There was a pause, then, "Prepare to be boarded for inspection." Before Miller could respond, a massive ship seemed to appear out of nowhere. It dwarfed the Pathfinder, making their vessel look like a toy. Beside it, "They must have some kind of cloaking technology," Taylor whispered, her eyes wide. A beam of light connected the two ships, and suddenly 3 figures stood in the middle of the Pathfinder's bridge. They were tall, at least 7 feet, with silvery skin and forearms. Their faces had no nose, just 2 large eyes that shifted colors like oil on water. "Humans," said the tallest one, its mouth not moving. The voice seemed to come directly into Miller's mind. "We have been watching your planet. We did not expect you to achieve FTL travel for at least another century." Miller stood straighter. "We're full of surprises." The alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. "I am Ambassador Zilk of the Centauri. Welcome to the Galactic Confederation." Over the next several hours, the humans learned that they were far from alone in the galaxy. The Confederation included 27 different species, with the Centauri being one of the founding members. They had maintained relative peace for over 3,000 years. "Your arrival is, unexpected," Zilk said as they sat in the Pathfinder's conference room. "Most species are discovered before they achieve space travel. We prefer to guide development." "Guide?" Miller asked, not liking the sound of that. "Yes. New species typically need protection and mentoring. We can offer Earth-protected status, under Centauri guidance, of course. In about 500 years, you might be ready for full membership in the Confederation." Miller kept his face neutral, but inside he felt a flash of anger. "Protected status? Like children needing a babysitter?" "That's very generous," he said carefully. "I'll need to bring this proposal back to Earth's leaders." "Of course," Zilk said, the colors in its eyes swirling faster. "We will send a delegation with you to help explain things to your leaders." While Miller continued talking with Zilk, Science Officer Taylor slipped away to analyze the data they were gathering about the Centauri ship. Something didn't feel right to her. In the science lab, she ran scans of the Centauri technology. The results made her breath catch. Their technology was advanced, yes, but not as advanced as Zilk implied. The Centauri were hiding something. Taylor dug deeper, accessing the data packet the Centauri had shared about the Confederation. She found hidden files that weren't meant for human eyes. Oh my God, she whispered as she read. The Confederation didn't see Earth as a potential equal. They saw it as a resource world, rich in materials and a new workforce. The protection was just a nice word for control. When she returned to the conference room, she caught Miller's eye and gave a small shake of her head. He seemed to understand something was wrong. Ambassador Zilk, Miller said, we appreciate your offer. We'll return to Earth now to discuss it with our leaders. Excellent, Zilk said. Our delegation will be ready in one of your Earth days. After the Zentari left, Taylor showed Miller what she had found. They're lying to us, she said. The Confederation isn't what they claim. They're more like an empire, with stronger species controlling the weaker ones. Miller frowned. And they expect us to just hand over Earth? They think we're primitive, Taylor said. They don't see us as a threat. Miller looked out at the massive Zentari ship. Then they're making their first mistake about humanity. When they returned to Earth, Miller and Taylor shared their findings with world leaders. The public was told only that contact had been made, and that aliens would soon visit Earth. Behind closed doors, a different conversation happened. We can't let them know we're onto them, said General Helen Wright of the Global Defense Force. We need to play along while we prepare. Prepare for what? Asked the Chinese representative. War? I hope not, Miller said. But we need to be ready for anything. The Zentari are holding back technology from us. They think it will take us centuries to catch up. Taylor smiled. But they don't know humans very well, do they? In the following weeks, as Earth prepared for the Zentari delegation, secret orders went out to research labs and military bases around the world. Every bit of data from the Pathfinder was analyzed. Engineers worked day and night to understand the technology they had glimpsed. The Zentari arrived with great ceremony, speaking of friendship and guidance. Earth's leaders smiled and nodded and signed preliminary agreements. But in hidden facilities around the globe, humanity was already planning for a future very different from the one the Zentari had in mind. They would not be anyone's protected species. They would find their own place among the stars, and the galaxy would never be the same again. 10 years passed since humanity's first contact with the Zentari. On the surface, Earth played the role of an obedient newcomer to galactic society. Centauri ships came and went from the solar system. Their diplomats walked the halls of power in every major nation. They brought small gifts of technology, carefully selected to not give humans too much advancement at once. Admiral Susan Clark did not trust them one bit. She stood in a hidden base deep beneath the surface of Mars, watching, as engineers worked on a ship unlike any the Zentari had seen. How much longer? She asked the chief engineer. 2 weeks, Admiral. Then the Phantom will be ready for her first test flight. Clark nodded. The Phantom was just one of dozens of secret projects happening throughout the solar system. While Earth's leaders smiled and nodded at their alien friends, humanity was preparing for a very different future. On the Zentari homeworld, Jack Hayes walked through an alien market. To anyone watching, he was just another human diplomat, learning about Zentari culture. In reality, he was one of Earth's top spies. Hayes had a gift. His mind could remember everything he saw or heard, every conversation, every document, every piece of alien technology. He was a living camera, bringing back information too sensitive to risk sending electronically. He stopped at a food stall, pretending to be interested in strange purple fruits. In reality, he was listening to 2 Zentari officials talking nearby. The humans are developing faster than expected, one said. They've already improved their medical technology beyond the limits we set. It doesn't matter, the other replied. They're still centuries behind us. Let them play with their toys. Hayes moved on, his face showing nothing. But inside, he was smiling. The aliens had no idea what humanity was really doing. Back on Earth, in a bunker under the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Laura Patel studied Zentari biology. The aliens believed they were simply giving humans basic medical knowledge. They didn't know that Patel and her team were learning much more. Look at this, she said to her assistant. Their nervous system has a weakness here and here. She pointed to an image on her screen. A targeted pulse at this frequency could temporarily disable them without causing permanent harm. But the Zentari said their bodies are superior to ours in every way, her assistant said. Patel smiled. They lied. Their bones are weaker. Their reaction time is slower, and they can't handle the same G-forces we can. This was the pattern across all human research. The aliens gave small pieces of knowledge, thinking humans would follow the same slow path of development that other species had. They didn't understand that humans had a different way of thinking, where the Zentari and other aliens developed technology in straight lines. Humans jumped from idea to idea. Where aliens carefully built on established principles, humans asked, what if, and tried wild experiments. Where aliens worked separately, humans shared knowledge and built on each other's ideas. In a space station hidden behind Jupiter's moon, Europa Commander Miller, now promoted to fleet captain, watched as pilots trained in simulators. These weren't ordinary pilots. They were the first humans trained to fly ships with the new faster-than-light drives that Earth had developed on its own. They're getting better, said Lisa Taylor, now his second-in-command. They need to be perfect, Miller replied. When the time comes, we'll only get one chance to surprise them. Meanwhile, Jack Hayes continued his quiet work in Confederation space. During a visit to the Galactic Council chambers, he discovered something important. The Confederation's long peace had made them weak. Many species had almost no military forces left. They relied on automated defense systems and the fact that no one had challenged them for thousands of years. Most importantly, Hayes discovered why the aliens were so interested in controlling humans. Unlike other species, humans had unusual brain patterns that made them resistant to the psychic abilities that several dominant species, including the Zentari, relied on for both communication and warfare. They're afraid of us, Hayes reported, when he returned to Earth. They can't read our minds the way they can with other species. They can't control us the way they control others. Admiral Clark took this information to the World Security Council. We need to accelerate our plans, she said. The Zentari and their allies are planning to tighten their control over Earth. They're calling it increased guidance, but it's really about limiting our development. The Council agreed. Over the next year, hidden shipyards across the solar system worked day and night. Earth's first real space fleet took shape. Built with technology the aliens didn't think humans could understand for centuries. At the same time, human diplomats continued to smile and agree with whatever the Zentari suggested. They accepted more advisors into Earth governments. They pretended to be grateful for the scraps of technology they were given. The Zentari grew confident. They began making plans to establish mining operations on some of Earth's outer planets and moons. According to Confederation law, these worlds weren't technically part of Earth's territory since humans hadn't settled them yet. We will, of course, share some of the resources with you, the Zentari ambassador told Earth's United Nations. This is standard practice for protected worlds. Earth's representatives nodded and thanked the ambassador for his generosity. In a private, they sent a very different message to Admiral Clark. It's time. On Titan, Saturn's largest moon, a Zentari mining corporation began setting up operations without waiting for formal approval. They landed heavy equipment and began building facilities. When a small team of human scientists who were already there protested, the Zentari security forces pushed them aside. This moon belongs to the Confederation now, the Zentari supervisor told them. You can stay and work for us or leave. The scientists left, sending urgent messages back to Earth. 3 days later, as the Zentari were setting up their main processing plant, a ship appeared in orbit around Titan. It wasn't one of the simple transport vessels the aliens had seen humans use before. This ship was sleek and dark with no running lights. Its hull seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. It was the ENS Silent Thunder, the first ship of Earth's new defense fleet, commanded by Captain Maria Rodriguez. Zentari mining operation, Rodriguez transmitted. You are trespassing on territory claimed by Earth. You have 1 hour to begin evacuation. The Zentari supervisor laughed when he received the message. One human ship against their operation? The mining base had better weapons than anything humans should possess. Tell them to leave before we destroy their little boat, he told his communications officer. He was still smiling when the first missiles hit. The Zentari supervisor watched in shock as the first missiles from the human ship struck their defense shields. These weren't the simple weapons humans should have. These missiles passed right through the shields as if they weren't there. 3 of their defense towers exploded in bright orange balls of fire. Impossible, he whispered. Aboard the ENS Silent Thunder, Captain Maria Rodriguez watched calmly as her weapons officer targeted the next set of Zentari defenses. They're powering up their main weapons, her tactical officer reported. Evade pattern. Delta, Rodriguez ordered. Let's show them what this ship can do. The Silent Thunder moved in a way no ship its size should be able to move. It seemed to dance around the energy beams the Zentari fired. Not a single shot hit the human vessel. Second missile barrage fire, Rodriguez said. More explosions lit up the surface of Titan. The Zentari mining base was in chaos now. They had never expected humans to have such advanced weapons or such skilled pilots. The supervisor sent an emergency signal to the Zentari fleet. 3 warships responded, appearing near Titan within minutes. They were massive compared to the Silent Thunder, each one 10 times its size. Human vessel, surrender immediately or be destroyed, came the message from the lead Zentari ship. Rodriguez smiled. Now, she said. 5 more human ships appeared from behind Titan's far side. They had been hiding there, cloaked from Zentari sensors. Each was similar to the Silent Thunder, smaller than the alien warships but fast and armed with weapons the aliens had never seen before. What followed was a battle unlike anything the Zentari had experienced in centuries. The human ships moved in perfect coordination, attacking from multiple angles, never staying still long enough to be targeted effectively. Their weapons seemed designed specifically to counter Zentari defenses. Within 30 minutes, one Zentari warship was completely disabled, another was heavily damaged. The third retreated, jumping away to safety. The battle, which would later be known as the Nix incident, sent shockwaves through the Galactic Confederation. Humans, who were supposed to be centuries away from developing significant military capabilities, had just defeated 3 Zentari warships with minimal losses. 2 days later, the Galactic Council called an emergency session. Earth was summoned to answer for its unprovoked aggression. The Zentari demanded severe sanctions and the immediate disarmament of all human military vessels. Earth sent Kevin Foster as its representative. He was calm and measured as he stood before the council, facing the angry stares of 24 alien species. Esteemed members of the council, Foster began, I come before you today not to apologize but to present evidence. He activated a holographic display showing recorded images of Zentari mining operations, not just on Titan, but on Mars, Europa, and several asteroids in Earth's solar system. For the past 5 years, Confederation corporations have been establishing illegal mining operations throughout our system. When asked to leave, they refused. When our scientists protested peacefully, they were threatened and removed by force. Foster's voice remained steady as he continued. According to Article 47 of the Confederation Charter, which I have studied in detail, any world with an intelligent native species has sovereignty over its home system until formal treaties state otherwise. No such treaties exist giving the Confederation rights to mine in our system. The council chamber grew quiet. Foster then displayed a new set of images, showing the specifications of the weapons the Zentari had used against the human ships. Furthermore, Article 163 clearly states that excessive force cannot be used against protected species. Yet the Zentari fired weapons capable of destroying our entire vessel and crew, not just disabling our ship. Our response was measured and proportional, as permitted under Article 77. The Zentari representative stood up, his color-shifting eyes flashing bright red. This is outrageous. How do these primitives even know these laws? They are twisting them to justify their violent actions. The head of the council, a member of an ancient species called the Murocs, raised a hand for silence. Is what the human says true? Were there unauthorized mining operations in their system? The Zentari couldn't deny it. The evidence was clear. This council will need to review all the facts, the Mirrox leader said. Until then, all mining operations in the human system will cease. And, she added, looking directly at Foster, no further military actions will be taken by either side. As Foster left the chamber, an older alien from a species called the Valari approached him. Impressive, the alien said quietly. Most new species don't learn to use our laws against us, for at least a century. Foster smiled slightly. Humans are quick learners. Back in Earth's solar system, Admiral Clark received the news of the council meeting with satisfaction. Phase 1 complete, she told her staff. Now we prepare for their response. She knew the Centauri would not take this defeat lightly. They would come back with more ships, more weapons. But now humanity had what it needed most: time. In secret bases throughout the solar system, production of human warships increased. Every day, more pilots completed their training. Scientists and engineers worked around the clock to improve their technology. 1 month after the Nix incident, Captain Rodriguez was promoted to fleet commander. Her new mission: prepare Earth's growing space fleet for the war that everyone knew was coming. They'll try to blockade us, Admiral Clark told her. Cut us off from the rest of the galaxy. Force us to surrender without a major battle. Rodriguez nodded. We'll be ready. In his lab beneath the lunar surface, Dr. Eric Bell made a breakthrough that would change everything. Studying captured Centauri technology, he discovered a way to improve Earth's shield systems. Instead of just blocking enemy weapons, these new shields could absorb the energy and redirect it. It's like turning their own strength against them, he explained to Admiral Clark. The more powerful their weapons, the more energy our shields have to work with. On Mars, Major Alan Wright developed a new command structure for Earth's military forces. Unlike the centralized system the Confederation used, Wright's approach was decentralized. Each ship, each unit could operate independently if needed, following broad strategic goals rather than specific orders. The aliens always target the command center first, Wright explained. They've done it in every war for thousands of years. But what happens when there is no single command center to destroy? 3 months after the Nix incident, a massive Confederation fleet arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system. It included ships from 7 different species, not just the Centauri. Over 200 vessels forming a blockade that no one could possibly break through. Or so they thought. The leader of the Confederation fleet sent a simple message to Earth. Surrender your weapons and accept Confederation authority, or face the consequences. Earth's response was just as simple. No. The galaxy was about to learn why that was a mistake. The Confederation fleet surrounded Earth's solar system. Over 200 alien ships formed a tight blockade. Their plan was simple: cut off humans from the rest of the galaxy until they surrendered. The aliens expected it would take a few weeks, maybe a month at most. They were wrong. Admiral Susan Clark gathered Earth's top military leaders in a secure bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The room was plain, with just a large table and screens showing the enemy fleet positions. They think they have us trapped, she said. But they don't understand how humans react when cornered. Fleet Commander Rodriguez nodded. The Centauri and their allies expect us to follow the usual patterns of warfare. Attack the blockade head-on and be defeated by superior numbers. So we don't do that, said Major Alan Wright. We fight in a way they've never seen before. Clark smiled. Exactly. Operation Hydra begins tonight. Across the solar system, human ships prepared for battle, but not in the way the aliens expected. Instead of gathering into a single fleet, the ships spread out. Small groups of 3 to 5 vessels took positions near Jupiter, Saturn, and even in the asteroid belt. In her lab on Luna, Chief Engineer Patricia Daniels made final adjustments to the new shield technology. Remember, she told the ship captains via secure channel, these shields don't just block their attacks, they absorb the energy. The more they hit you, the stronger your shields get. On Earth, Dr. William Barnes worked through the night on his quantum communication system. This breakthrough allowed human ships to send messages instantly across any distance without using the standard communication channels the aliens could monitor. Testing final connections now. he said to his team. If this works, our ships will be able to coordinate attacks in ways the enemy can't detect or predict. The first attack came at midnight, Earth time. 5 human ships suddenly appeared near the blockade around Jupiter. They fired quickly, damaging 2 alien vessels, then disappeared before the Confederation could respond. 20 minutes later, a similar attack happened near Saturn, then another near Mars. All night, small groups of human ships struck different parts of the blockade, then vanished before reinforcements could arrive. The Confederation commanders were confused. How were the humans moving their ships so quickly? Unknown to them, Earth had developed its own version of jump technology that allowed ships to make short, precise jumps within a solar system, something the aliens had never considered possible. After 3 days of these hit-and-run attacks, the Confederation fleet split up, spreading their ships thinner to cover more areas. This was exactly what Earth wanted. On the 4th day, Fleet Commander Rodriguez led a larger attack against a now weakened section of the blockade. Her ships used the new shield technology for the first time in a major battle. As the alien weapons fired, the human shields glowed brighter and stronger. Energy absorption at 200% capacity, reported Rodriguez's tactical officer. Shields are actually getting stronger with each hit. Rodriguez smiled. Fire all weapons. The battle lasted just 30 minutes. When it was over, 12 alien ships were disabled or destroyed. The human fleet jumped away before reinforcements arrived. The Confederation commanders were shocked. Nothing like this had happened in thousands of years of space warfare. The aliens always had better technology, better weapons, but now humans were using technology in ways they had never imagined. Even more disturbing to the aliens was how humans kept adapting. Every time the Confederation changed tactics, the humans responded with something new. When the aliens tried using their psychic weapons, which had always worked against other species, they found humans largely immune. A month into the blockade, the Confederation forces were growing tired and frustrated. Their ships weren't designed for long missions. Their crews weren't trained for extended conflicts. For centuries, most battles in space had been quick and decisive. Meanwhile, the human fleet grew stronger. Dr. Barnes completed his quantum communication system, allowing Earth forces to coordinate their attacks with perfect timing. All across the blockade, human ships would strike simultaneously, then disappear before the aliens could respond. Major Wright's decentralized command structure proved remarkably effective. When the Confederation managed to destroy a human command ship, the other vessels continued fighting without hesitation. There was no central point of failure for the aliens to target. The breaking point came 6 months into the blockade. Earth launched its largest attack yet. 50 human ships hit the blockade at 10 different points at exactly the same time. The Confederation forces, now spread thin and exhausted, couldn't respond effectively. By the time the battle ended, 30 alien ships had been destroyed or disabled. The once mighty blockade had huge gaps. For the first time, humanity had a clear path to the stars beyond their solar system. The Confederation admiral, a Zentari named Krell, called an emergency meeting with his commanders. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "They were primitive just 30 years ago." "It's their adaptability," said a scientist from the Volari species. "Each alien species tends to excel in one area. The Zentari have their energy weapons. The Murocs have their psychic abilities. The Dralax have their armor technology. But humans, they analyze everything and find ways to counter it. They don't specialize, they adapt." "And they never stop," added another commander. "We destroyed one of their moon bases last week. 2 days later, they had already rebuilt it and made it stronger." Admiral Krell received a message from the Galactic Council. The blockade was to be lifted immediately. The cost in ships and lives had become too high. The Council was calling for peace talks. As the Confederation fleet retreated, a ripple of fear spread through the galaxy. It wasn't just that humans had fought off a superior force. It was how they had done it. Their adaptability made them unpredictable. Their technology was developing at a pace never seen before. Most alien species had evolved with specific advantages. Some were physically stronger. Some could communicate telepathically, some had natural armor or enhanced senses, but none could match humanity's ability to analyze, innovate, and overcome obstacles at speeds that seemed impossible. The aliens began to fear humans not just for their growing military prowess, but for what they might become in the future. If they could advance this much in just a few decades, what would they be like in a century? In a millennium? As the last Confederation ships left Earth's solar system, Admiral Clark received a secure message. It was from a small alien species called the Trell. They had watched the conflict with great interest. "We have been under Zentari control for 300 years, the message said. "We seek an alliance with humans. We believe you understand what it means to fight for freedom." Clark shared the message with Earth's leaders. "It seems we've made our first real friends out there," she said. No one realized it yet, but this was the beginning of something much bigger than just Earth's independence. The galaxy was about to change forever. 50 years had passed since humanity's first contact with the Zentari. Earth was no longer just defending its solar system. Human ships now traveled freely through Confederation space. Earth had formed alliances with several smaller alien species, who had been under Zentari control. Together they created what they called the Free Worlds Alliance. The Confederation didn't like this at all. They saw the growing alliance as a threat to the stability they had maintained for thousands of years. The Zentari and their strongest allies decided it was time to end the human problem once and for all. They gathered their largest fleet ever, 500 ships from 12 different species. This armada traveled to Proxima Centauri, the star system closest to Earth and home to New Terra, humanity's first colony beyond their solar system. Admiral Ryan Cooper watched from the bridge of the ENS Defiant as the enemy fleet appeared. Cooper was tall and calm, with gray hair and eyes that had seen many battles. He commanded just 30 ships. "They want to make a statement," said his second-in-command. "Destroy our colony and show the galaxy what happens to those who challenge the Confederation." Cooper nodded. "And we'll make a statement of our own." In the 50 years since first contact, human technology had advanced in ways no one thought possible. Each battle, each encounter with alien tech, had taught humanity something new. Earth scientists didn't just copy alien technology. They improved it, combined it in new ways, made it their own. Cooper's 30 ships were the best Earth had built. Each one incorporated technology from a dozen alien species, all enhanced by human innovation. The crews were the best trained with years of experience in space combat. The Confederation expected an easy victory. They thought humans would either flee or be quickly destroyed. They were wrong on both counts. As the massive alien fleet approached New Terra, Cooper ordered his ships into a formation the aliens had never seen before. Instead of spreading out or forming a defensive line, the human vessels arranged themselves in a three-dimensional spiral pattern. "Quantum shields at full power," Cooper ordered. "Activate the resonance field." This was humanity's newest technology. Based on Dr. Bell's original shield design that absorbed energy, the resonance field allowed all 30 ships to share shield power. As the alien fleet opened fire, the human ships didn't just absorb the energy. They passed it between them, strengthening the entire formation. "They're confused," reported the tactical officer. "Their sensors show our shields getting stronger." With every hit, Cooper smiled. "Now we show them what humans can do when pushed. All ships, execute Battle Plan Icarus." What followed was unlike any space battle in the galaxy's history. The human ships moved in perfect coordination, their spiral formation constantly shifting. They focused their fire on specific enemy vessels, using weapons that bypassed standard Confederation shields. The aliens tried to adapt, changing their formation and tactics, but the humans changed faster. Every move the Confederation made was met with an effective counter. It was like playing chess against an opponent who could see 5 moves ahead. 6 hours into the battle, 100 alien ships had been disabled or destroyed. The human fleet had lost only 3 vessels, and even those crews had managed to evacuate safely. The Confederation admiral, a veteran Zentari named Zor, couldn't believe what he was seeing. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "We outnumber them more than 10 to 1. "It's not about numbers," his tactical officer replied. Their technology, their tactics, they're unlike anything we've ever faced. Zor made a difficult decision. Order the fleet to pull back. We need to regroup. As the Confederation ships retreated to a safe distance, Cooper didn't pursue them. That wasn't the plan. Humanity didn't want to destroy the Confederation. They wanted to change it. 3 days later, the Galactic Council called an emergency session. The Battle of Proxima Centauri, as it was now being called, had sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy. Many expected humans to demand reparations or territory from the defeated Confederation forces. Instead, Ambassador Nicole Howard presented what she called the Terran Accords, a new framework for galactic relations. Howard was elegant and confident as she stood before the council, her silver hair gleaming under the chamber lights. For too long, the Confederation has been based on the strong controlling the weak, she said. Some species are given power, while others are kept dependent. This isn't true cooperation, it isn't real peace. Howard's proposal was revolutionary. Replace the hierarchical structure of the Confederation with a new galactic alliance where all species would have equal representation. Technology would be shared, not controlled. Trade would be free, not regulated to benefit only the powerful species. Humans don't seek to rule, Howard told the council. We've seen enough of Earth's history to know that empires always fall. What we want is partnership, with all species, large and small. The council chamber erupted in debate. Many of the powerful species rejected Howard's proposal immediately. But something unexpected happened. Species that had been quiet for centuries began to speak up. Races that had been under protection for generations demanded to be heard. The Confederation was fracturing from within. Over the next 5 years, more and more species joined the new Galactic Alliance. They saw in humanity something they hadn't seen before, a powerful race that fought not to conquer but to defend, not to control, but to liberate. What made the galaxy truly fear humanity was the realization that humans fought most effectively when defending others. They were at their most dangerous, their most innovative, when protecting those who couldn't protect themselves. 10 years after the Battle of Proxima Centauri, the old Confederation had largely dissolved. The new alliance, led jointly by humans and several other species, had become the dominant power in the galaxy. A Zentari diplomat, the grandson of Ambassador Zilk, who had first contacted humanity, watched a joint human-alien fleet on training maneuvers near the Orion Nebula. The ships moved in perfect harmony, each race contributing their unique strengths to the whole. We thought we were welcoming a child race to the stars, the diplomat said to Ambassador Howard, who had come to observe the maneuvers. We never considered we might be meeting our future guardians, or that we would need guardians at all. Howard smiled. Perhaps the greatest human quality isn't our technology or our fighting ability, she said. It's that we never forget what it felt like to be the underdog. As their shuttle returned to Earth, Howard looked out at the stars. In just 50 years, humanity had gone from newcomers to the galaxy's most feared and most respected power. They had changed the course of galactic history not through conquest but through cooperation, not through dominance but through partnership, and any species that threatened that new peace quickly learned why humanity had earned its reputation. In defense of their allies, humans remained the most formidable force the galaxy had ever known. The stars were no longer a frontier, they were home, and humanity had found its place among them, not as conquerors, but as protectors.